Lin Ruoxuan in the computer will never betray herself. Her joy and growth are closely related to him. Suddenly, a wave of complex emotions surged in Su Yunjua's heart, and he couldn't help but hum softly. A hint of self-mockery in his voice. You are in your prime, while I am in dire straits. How can I dare to embrace you in my humble state? However, the Lin Ruoxuan on the screen blinked her clear big eyes, her long eyelashes fluttering like butterfly wings. Tyrant, are you confessing to me? Although you are an intangible system, I accept. Why sing so sadly? Su Yunjua felt a flush on his face, embarrassed as if his inner thoughts had been exposed. He immediately adopted a serious tone. You dare to tease the system? You've gone too far. Go open an account, and if you keep talking back, I'll shut you down. You're just a stiff man, lacking romance. Don't shut me down. I'll go right now. Lin Ruoxuan complained, but didn't tease slow down her movements. Quickly changing into clothes to go out, carefully putting away her ID and bank card, and darting out of the house like a cheerful little bird. Everything that followed went smoothly. Accompanied by her family, she modestly claimed her huge after-tax prize, and following instructions, she kept $3 million for herself as startup capital to enter the financial market, while giving the rest to her astonished parents for proper arrangement and improving their lives. Then, under Su Yunjua's guidance, Lin Ruoxuan utilized high leverage through margin trading and futures, and before the summer vacation ended, she skyrocketed her account funds to $50 million. Su Yunjua watched the miraculous profit speed, which seemed astonishing to outsiders, and felt both amused and justified. Indeed, one of the core pleasures of this game is to allow players to act as travelers, using absolute information disparity to strike down the past world. Experiencing the thrill of controlling the situation and changing the tides. The financial trends in this virtual world perfectly matched the real historical data he had searched for, without a single discrepancy, making it incredibly easy to achieve wealth. Watching the figures in her account increase by millions daily, Lin Ruoxuan was so happy she felt she could float, and her gratitude dance for Su Yunjua became more refined, even teaching herself a few challenging ballet spins. Her skirt swirling, showcasing the vitality and liveliness of youth. One day, she even mischievously suggested in a lowered voice, a hint of playful shyness in her tone, System Dad, how about I learn that pole dance from bars? It seems more aligned with your ultimate aesthetic as a stiff man. Su Yunjua, feeling helpless, no longer viewed this simply as a game, but sincerely wanted to cultivate Lin Ruoxuan into a dazzling presence. If you truly want to thank me, then do exactly as I instruct, putting your time and energy where it matters. Understood. Lin Ruoxuan straightened her slender back, then seemed to remember something. Muttering softly with a flushed face, then I'll go drink papaya milk now. 2 cups every day. But System Dad, is your aesthetic standard that, the bigger the better? Su Yunju rolled his eyes at the screen and typed irritably. This is the underlying setting of your game world. It has nothing to do with my personal high standards of aesthetics. Go work out. Throughout the summer vacation, Lin Ruoxuan strictly followed all the instructions from the system. Aside from the necessary time spent monitoring the market, she rushed from one high-end training class to another, engaging in hot yoga to shape her body, practicing runway walks to refine her poise, and taking international standard dance lessons to enhance her charm and grace. Her daily schedule was packed, filled with both pain and joy, exhaustion and growth. The sweat and substantial money spent yielded significant and gratifying results. Su Yunju looked at the increasingly dazzling girl on the screen, who was beginning to show her charm, and nodded in satisfaction, jokingly saying, truly filial, taking good care of her grandmother. Chapter 006. The Indulgent Life in University. By the end of summer vacation, Lin Ruoxuan's attribute panel had completely transformed. Appearance, 92,100 bright eyes and white teeth, abundant vitality. Skin glowing like snow, already exuding a captivating charm. Figure, 85,100 curves becoming more exquisite, waist-to-hip ratio approaching perfection. Vitality and grace coexisting perfectly. Knowledge, 44,100 academic progress lagging, due to focus on investment, need to catch up hard after school starts. Foundational potential still to be explored. Temperament, 60,100 initial calm confidence nurtured by money and skills, but depth of character is still shallow, requiring more life experience. Influence, 15,100 gaining initial reputation among close classmates and a small investment circle. The title of beauty and little stock god spreading quietly. Overall charm value, 592,100 significant progress. But the path to becoming a true goddess is still long and challenging. Hidden talent, business prodigy activated 5. Current wealth control, 50 million in liquid assets within the capital market. The first pot of gold firmly established. Meanwhile, on Su Yunju's side, only 2 hours had passed in real time, and it was just 9 o'clock in the evening. Adopting a strict teacher's demeanor, he inputted a command. During your university years, your core task is to study and expand equality. Valuable network of contacts to pave the way for your future business empire. But romance is strictly prohibited. It will only affect your speed and judgment in seizing opportunities. There must be no slack in your daily exercise and study plans, understood? I need to step away for a bit, stay focused. Got it, Tyrant System Dad. When will you be back? Lin Ruoxuan's voice carried a clear sense of attachment and reluctance. Just a quick moment. Su Yunju, eager to address his personal needs, casually replied with a blunt truth. Hey Tyrant, how vulgar. This will pollute my pure soul and lower my ladylike charm rating. She exaggeratedly protested, her tone laced with affectionate teasing. Su Yunju chuckled and shook his head, indeed getting up from the computer to head to the restroom. When he returned and glanced at the screen, his heart sank. A month had quietly passed in the game. As I took a closer look at the data panel, I noticed that aside from the influence score rising to 20 points due to the renowned reputation of the beauty stock god, and the wealth surpassing 100 million under the preset automated trading strategy, other attributes had all declined. Body, 3. Temperament, 2. Even attractiveness dropped by 1 point due to irregular sleep patterns. In the scene, Lin Roakshuan was having a late-night snack party in the dorm with a few fashionably dressed roommates, with fried chicken, skewers, and high-sugar milk tea spread all over the desk. Their mouths shiny with grease, laughter echoing around. She clearly enjoyed the feeling of being surrounded and praised by everyone. As her generous nature led her roommates to seek financial support, and the sweet talk about making them rich had her feeling a bit euphoric. With a smug smile lighting up her face, reveling in the attention. Su Yunzhao's brows furrowed tightly, a surge of frustration igniting within him. Without a word, he moved the mouse and coldly pressed the flickering blue punishment button. Zing. Just as Lin Roakshuan was sipping her milk tea, she suddenly felt as if struck by an invisible high-voltage whip, her body jolting violently. With a splutter, she sprayed the milk tea out in a fine mist, her body going limp as if all her strength had been drained, collapsing onto the cold floor in uncontrollable spasms. Roakshuan, what is wrong with you? Her roommates were terrified, gathering around her, voices overlapping. What happened? Food poisoning? Oh my gosh. Quick, call for an ambulance. No, don't. Lin Roakshuan trembled, raising a hand weakly to gesture, her face pale as paper, her voice trembling with a mix of relief and fear. It's my dad. P.S. back. Her roommates exchanged bewildered and terrified glances. Your dad? ISNT he and Hujo? Is this some sudden hysteria or epilepsy? As the intense pain began to fade, she hurriedly wiped the milk tea stains and tears from her face with her sleeve. Amidst her roommates' doubtful and monstrous stares, she clumsily crawled toward the upper bunk, swiftly pulling the mosquito net tight to create a small, safe, private space. Kneeling on the bed, she placed her hands neatly on her knees, staring at the empty space ahead, timidly mumbling, System Dad, you're back. I know I was wrong. Su Yunzhao's voice was as cold as ice. How long have I been gone? Just a month. And you've let yourself go like this? Body fat percentage up, muscle mass down, skin luster diminished, and your gaze has become murky. Lin Roakshuan. Do you want to give me a heart attack so you can inherit my system source code ahead of time? Lin Roakshuan pouted, her eyes instantly reddening, looking pitiful as she tried to defend herself, hoping to get away with it. I really missed you so much that I couldn't eat or sleep. Without you here to supervise, I felt lost and empty, so sad I could only numb myself with good food to fill the void. I know I was wrong. Please don't be angry, okay? Couldn't eat or sleep, and indulging in good food? Which language teacher taught you to put these two words together? Su Yunzhao was so amused by this shameless reasoning that he snorted coldly and said, rent an apartment immediately tomorrow and move out to live alone. What positive value can your so-called good sisters bring you besides indulging you in excess and flattering you? Cut ties immediately. Stay away from these people who drain you. Reflect on yourself. Starting tomorrow, double the intensity of your daily exercise plan. Upon hearing this, Lin Roakshuan felt it was even more terrifying than continuous electric shock torture. She quickly changed her expression, wiping away her tears and smiling. Got it. I knew Dad loves me the most. He wouldn't really want to turn me into a little fool. She paused, suddenly seeming to remember something, leaned forward slightly, and whispered, Dad, as my only audience. Do you think this new lace-trimmed underwear I picked out for you looks good? I chose it especially for you. Su Yunzhao took a deep breath, forcibly suppressing the inexplicable agitation in his heart, and directly ignored the dangerous and ambiguous question. It seems the electric shock wasn't strong enough if you're still thinking about these nonsense. Starting tomorrow, we'll kick off the milk tea shop entrepreneurial plan. I'll send you the specific plan. After you digest this, give me 50 standard crunches to burn off the calories from that junk food you just consumed. I'll do it. I'll do it right away. Dad, don't shock me. Lin Roakshuan immediately surrendered, hurriedly arranging her position on the bed, still mumbling in a voice as faint as a mosquito's stupid wooden block. Dead straight man. No romantic sense at all. Chapter 007. The birth of the Milk Tea Queen to help Lin Roakshuan truly take her first step into the business world and fully activate her hidden talent for becoming a business tycoon. Su Yunzhao had done thorough research and invested significantly this time. He carefully searched for the early marketing strategies of popular tea brands like Heitea and Nayuki, along with classic successful formula ideas that had repeatedly proven to ignite phenomenal buying frenzies in the market, refining and combining them with the market environment, consumption levels, and raw material supply chain conditions of 2008, and organized it into a guide titled Xianxian Tea Entrepreneurship Complete Guide V10, which he sent to Lin Roakshuan. He thought to himself, the advanced gameplay and core enjoyment of this game might be guiding NPCs to use absolutely advanced information and knowledge to carry out precise dimensional attacks on the past world. With Lin Roakshuan's current level of growth, comprehension, and ample initial funds, she should be able to initially digest and execute this relatively mature plan. System Dad, you're amazing. Lin Roakshuan's exclamation immediately came through the speakers, filled with unabashed shock and admiration. These ideas, these marketing concepts, these product combinations, and visual designs are simply incredible. I feel like we've surpassed all the beverage shops on the market by at least 5 years. No, 10 years. But soon. Her tone shifted from pure excitement to a calm and keen business insight that drew attention. However, System Dad, I think we can't just do simple copying. What we aim to create is not just a beverage, but a brand, a lifestyle that fosters a sense of identity and belonging. One that encourages people to willingly pay for the emotional value and social currency it offers. Su Yunzhao watched the screen as she effortlessly entered the zone, her analysis clear and organized as if she had transformed into a different person. He couldn't help but feel a slight stir in his heart, marveling at the hidden talent of this business prodigy, which indeed lived up to its reputation. But the next moment, he self-deprecatingly shook his head, snapping back to reality from that moment of immersion, realizing he was in front of a game character programmed to react, almost getting caught up in her performance. Truly believing he was nurturing some future business genius. It felt like he was regressing, to the point where he was almost losing his mind in the game. In the following days, Lin Ruoxuan showcased an astonishing level of initiative and execution that starkly contrasted with her delicate appearance. She first rented a luxurious apartment of about 100 square meters near the university, making a significant investment in top-notch fitness equipment, including a treadmill, an elliptical machine, and a Smith machine, converting one room into a fully equipped private gym, standing in the newly arranged, spacious, and bright workout area. She playfully winked at the air, "System Daddy, this will be your secret base for training me from now on." In front of the screen, Su Yunzhao watched as she changed into form-fitting yoga pants that perfectly accentuated her curves, sweating alongside a hired professional trainer. The powerful and graceful figure made him unconsciously gulp, feeling a bit parched, and he silently opened a bottle of chilled beer, taking a few swigs. During breaks in training, Lin Ruoxuan would occasionally seize the moment when her trainer stepped away for water, suddenly turning around with a charming smile, her delicate fingertips seemingly casually hooking the edge of her tight sports tank top, whispering in a tone only the two of them could hear, "Am I looking good while sweating, tyrant?" Su Yunzhao looked at the screen, where her enticing curves, enhanced by exercise, were increasingly appealing, and could only helplessly shake his head, thinking to himself, if this game could refine such perfectly balanced content, with its vast narrative branches and nearly perverse realism and intelligent interaction, it would have already taken the world by storm, becoming a phenomenon. Meanwhile, the preparation for Xianyan Tea was also progressing at a rapid pace. From the uniquely crafted logo design to the stylish decor of the store filled with attention to detail, Lin Ruoxuan was hands-on, demonstrating learning abilities and execution skills beyond her years. When the first flagship store opened in a prime location in the university town, even Su Yunzhao, who had seen countless trendy store designs, couldn't help but be amazed by the forward-thinking sophistication and unique atmosphere it exhibited back in 2008. On the opening day, innovative drinks like cheese foam and succulent grapes, known for their rich flavor layers and stunning visuals, combined with meticulously planned marketing activities, instantly ignited consumer enthusiasm. With lines of customers forming from morning till night, hunger marketing, aesthetic marketing, and social media word-of-mouth marketing worked in tandem, causing the store to become an overnight sensation and a popular landmark for young people around the university and the entire region. Su Yunzhu timely introduced a more advanced business concept. What we aim to do is never just an ordinary milk tea shop, but an important entry point for offline traffic. In the near future, every store must be equipped with an intelligent tablet ordering system, with the core focus on collecting and analyzing user preference data. At the same time, we need to launch a mature membership point system as soon as possible to lay a solid foundation for building our own private traffic pool in the future. Lin Ruoxuan pondered, suddenly enlightened. I understand. It's like turning the customers who come and go into digital assets that we can continuously reach and operate deeply? Exactly. Su Yunzhu nodded in appreciation, saying that once we accumulate 500,000 high-quality member data, there will be so many things we can do. Precise personalized recommendations, cross-brand collaborations, and even incubating entirely new sub-brands based on this data. Under Su Yunzhu's forward-thinking guidance, Lin Ruoxuan began to study big data analysis, which was still relatively niche at the time, and boldly experimented with social media strategies that later became wildly popular. Discounts for sharing, gifts for check-ins, and group purchase discounts with friends. A series of combined tactics quickly established a phenomenal word-of-mouth effect and communication wave for Xianxian Tea in the university town. However, the entrepreneurial journey was never a smooth path. One late night, Su Yunzhu found Lin Ruoxuan alone in the empty flagship store, frowning at the reports on her computer screen. "It's tough," she said, her voice tinged with undeniable fatigue. "Today, a store manager suddenly resigned and took away 3 of our most skilled team makers. Our stable raw material supplier announced a 30 price increase out of the blue." She paused, her voice choked with a hint of grievance. "And someone anonymously posted several long threads on a local forum, spreading rumors that I used some unsavory means to secure funding and achieve success by clinging to the powerful. That's not true. I've clearly relied on the system." These issues were not something Su Yunzhu could directly control or eliminate through the game system. They seemed to form the trials that entrepreneurs must independently face and endure in this world. He could only encourage her to delve into the dry yet wisdom-filled works of philosophy, social psychology, and organizational behavior, hoping she would draw wisdom and inner strength to navigate through human complexities and find a way to break through. What surprised and even somewhat shocked Su Yunzhu was that Lin Ruoxuan not only did not succumb, but also absorbed those profound theories at an astonishing speed, quickly mastering the core principles of crisis management and team motivation, perfectly resolving this threatening crisis in practice. "It's tough," she said one time, after finishing an intense session of reading and reflection, rubbing her swollen temples. Suddenly, she asked softly, with a rare hint of confusion in her tone. "The world is so big, and there are so many people. With your abilities, why did you choose me?" Chapter 008 Virtual Date. Su Yunzhu felt a twinge of bitter self-mockery. He had no choices to make. She was merely a bound character in the game's tutorial. But perhaps he had gotten too immersed in the role, or perhaps the warmth of this virtual world felt too real, enough to soothe his heart, which was riddled with wounds from reality. He cleared his throat and replied with a teasing tone that couldn't completely hide a hint of seriousness or even affection, because you just happen to fit perfectly into my aesthetic. Lin Ruoxuan's eyes instantly lit up. So the system has aesthetic preferences too? You've been nurturing and shaping me according to your ideal type, right? Does that mean that once I achieve all my goals and truly become the kind of goddess you expect, you'll appear before me, no longer just an elusive shadow? Su Yunju couldn't help but admire the AI's conversational logic and emotional simulation. It was truly remarkable, almost indistinguishable from reality. He wished that everything before him wasn't a cold program, but a real parallel universe, where the girl on the screen, with her charming smile, could be held in his arms. Unfortunately, she was merely a complex assembly of code, a fleeting illusion, a luxurious and expensive source of emotional solace. Yet, he found himself unable to resist engaging with this intoxicating storyline, responding with a strong sense of possessiveness he didn't even realize he had. Yes. So, until I officially come to your side, you are not allowed to date anyone. Okay, I understand. Lin Ruoxuan's determination seemed to ignite instantly. She nodded vigorously at the air, as if making the most solemn vow. I will work twice as hard to become a unique goddess worthy of the tyrant. Wait for me. Time flew by, and the game fast-forwarded to her sophomore year. With her exceptional abilities and impressive resume, Lin Ruoxuan successfully became the president of the student council, also gaining some fame as a budding entrepreneur both on and off campus. On the screen, Lin Ruoxuan donned a well-tailored suit for the first time, standing confidently at the podium of a large auditorium, facing a crowd and flashing cameras. She was poised and assertive, her logic clear and her arguments sharp, exuding the aura of a leader. Outside the screen, Su Yunju watched the girl who once would throw tantrums over a calculus problem now shine brightly under the spotlight. A mix of emotions surged within him, an indescribable excitement and pride that brought tears to his eyes, almost making them overflow. This sense of achievement and companionship was far more profound than any game victory. Due to Lin Ruoxuan's brilliance, she inevitably attracted numerous admirers. One time, an emerging young entrepreneur filled a truck with red roses, covering the path she took after class, and publicly declared his feelings, drawing a crowd of students cheering and watching. Lin Ruoxuan looked at the dazzling sea of flowers with no wavering in her gaze, only a hint of helplessness. She spoke clearly and firmly, her voice resonating through the quiet hallway. Thank you for your admiration. However, I already have someone I like. In the astonished gaze of the crowd, her cheeks flushed slightly, yet her eyes sparkled with undeniable sincerity and pride. All my efforts to improve myself were aimed at standing by his side one day, to be worthy of him. When she spoke, her gaze would unconsciously drift toward the direction where Su Yunju was, filled with endless sweetness and dependence. This immediately sparked a wave of astonishment and countless speculations both online and offline. Lin Ruoxuan, hailed as the most beautiful campus flower of Jing University and a rising star in the business world, turned out to be so devoted? Who was this person she loved so humbly and persistently? On Valentine's Day, Lin Ruoxuan meticulously decorated her apartment, filling it with luscious red roses. Joyfully dressed in a beautiful dress, she took many bright smiles and photos. Then, she sat down in front of her computer, took out her drawing tablet, and carefully and seriously sketched a portrait of Su Yunju, depicting him with the gentle demeanor she imagined. She posted this picture on social media with the caption, "My tyrant. Happy Valentine's Day. No matter how far apart we are, on every ordinary or special day, we know we are together." Su Yunju looked at the post, filled with warmth and emotion, but at the same time, a hint of indescribable guilt arose within him. What he offered was ultimately just a virtual companionship. This guilt reached its peak one day when Lin Ruoxuan secretly ordered several uniquely designed toys online. That night, Su Yunju stared at the screen, where boldness and innocent shyness intertwined. His heart trembled, and his blood seemed to rush faster. After a while, he chuckled silently, shaking his head helplessly at the screen, muttering to himself, "All right, you've got guts. This game's scale and the NPC's autonomy have never disappointed me." He hesitated for a moment, struggling internally. With a complex emotion he couldn't quite articulate. Tentatively, he spoke as if making a difficult decision. If you feel too lonely and need real, tangible companionship, I would allow you to find a boyfriend who is real and visible. I won't disturb you." As he said this, an inexplicable pang of bitterness washed over him. Although he knew it was just a game, he didn't want to see her put herself in such a position, expressing her feelings in this way. "No." Lin Ruoxuan blurted out almost without thinking. She quickly put away the props, lifting her watery eyes, her gaze seemingly penetrating the screen and looking straight into his heart. "Others are not you. I will wait for you." This statement, "I will wait for you," struck Su Yunju's heart in its softest spot, pulling hard. Once upon a time, Su Qianran had also nestled in his arms, using a similar innocent tone to say the same thing. But now, time had passed, and she was probably lying in the arms of that rich second generation. He remained silent, his fingers hovering over the mouse, feeling the swirling bitterness in his chest and the immense comfort brought by the virtual world before him. Finally, he gently moved the mouse and clicked on the reward icon that emitted a soft, warm green light. "Silly girl," he sighed softly, his voice unexpectedly tender. "Let's take a day off tomorrow. We'll go on a date." The next morning, at the famous Dillon commercial street in Jingzhou, Su Yunju watched Lin Ruoxuan through the screen, like a happy bird finally released from its cage, joyfully flitting through the morning light and bustling crowd, filled with curiosity about everything. The third shop on the left, with a worn-out sign, was a 30-year-old braised dish place, known for its authentic flavor. He transformed into a tour guide, his voice laced with amusement. "You know about this too, tyrant?" Lin Ruoxuan exclaimed, her eyes wide. Of course. Who do you think I am? He replied with a hint of pride. Go, buy me a donkey meat pie. It must be fresh out of the oven. With extra green peppers. Lin Roakshuan obediently bought it, carefully taking a bite of the steaming pie, too hot for her, making her stick out her tongue and blow on it. Yet she still immediately raised the half-eaten pie towards the screen, beaming. This is for you, tyrant. I saved the best part for you. Passers-by glanced over, their expressions strange as they looked at this beautiful girl talking to the air while holding food. The aunt selling breakfast couldn't help but chime in. Girl, you're so pretty, but you can't date the air in a long-distance relationship. Su Yunzhou watched her enticingly glossy lips, his throat involuntarily bobbing, a strange thirst rising, yet he still complained. Immature. Mind your goddess image in public. Chapter 009 Days of Mutual Companionship at Night. On the highest astronomical observatory in Jingzhou, Lin Roakshuan leaned against the railing. First gazing up at the sparse yet bright stars above the city, then looking down at the myriad lights and dazzling neon of Jingzhou below. Suddenly, she turned around. Found Su Yunzhou's position, her expression unusually serious, carrying a solemn promise. Tyrant, wait for me. Once my business empire is built, I will buy the tallest and most expensive building in Jingzhou. Then on the top floor, I will build a palace just for you, so you can enjoy the views of the city every day. Su Yunzhou chuckled, amused by her extravagant ambitions for him, yet his heart melted. Quite the ambition. First, focus on running your few milk tea shops well and develop them into a national chain. However, as he watched her hair being blown by the night wind, her smile growing even more radiant against the backdrop of the city lights, he clicked on the reward again. The hand that measured light appeared once more, gently and carefully tucking a strand of hair blown out of place behind her ear, as if handling a rare treasure. Lin Roakshuan enjoyed this intangible intimacy and softly requested, Tyrant, can you sing me a song? I haven't heard you sing in such a long time. Su Yunzhou fell silent for a moment, then gently began to hum, his voice deep with a hint of huskiness. I once felt lost and disappointed, losing all direction, until I realized that being ordinary is the only answer. As he sang, Su Yunzhou suddenly wondered if he had been too harsh on Lin Roakshuan all along. In pursuit of that so-called goddess goal, he had deprived her of the right to enjoy an ordinary life. No friends, no normal social interactions, not even a genuine embrace. For a fleeting moment, an impulse surged within him. He wanted to say to her, from now on, do whatever you want, no need to struggle so much. I will be there for you. However, as soon as that thought arose, he helplessly shook his head and chuckled to himself. This was a game, after all. Weren't all her actions and preferences predetermined by the program? Moreover, wasn't he leading her to the pinnacle of the world, basking in the spotlight? More in line with her chosen one persona and the ultimate goal of this game? Throughout the day, there was no rigorous training, no mandatory tasks. Just two lonely souls, one in reality, heart like ashes, and the other vibrant and blooming in the virtual world. Through the screen, they clumsily yet sincerely drew closer to each other at the blurred boundary between reality and illusion, absorbing each other's warmth as if embracing. At midnight, in a luxurious suite of a century-old hotel in the capital, Lin Roakshuan lay alone on the spacious four-poster bed. She turned to the side, her slender arms tightly wrapped around the soft but empty pillow beside her, burying her flushed, fragrant cheek deep into it after her bath. Breathing in deeply as if there were a warm and solid embrace there. This way, we are sharing the same bed, right? Good night. Outside the screen, Su Yunzhou gazed intently at her peaceful sleeping profile, filled with an indescribable sense of fulfillment. He couldn't help but click the reward button over and over again, almost obsessively, enveloping her in soft light repeatedly, as if trying to make up for all the regrets of not being able to touch her in reality. Just then, his phone placed beside the computer lit up unexpectedly, breaking the serene warmth. It was a friend request verification message from Su Qianran. Yunzhou, why did you delete me? Are you really that petty? Haven't I explained that my mom is seriously ill? Can't you be a little more understanding? He stared at the message and smiled. The reality that had once caused him deep heartache now seemed so pale and ridiculous compared to the illusory warmth on the screen. He replied directly, when you come back, pack your things immediately. I'm getting ready to hand this house over to the agent. It will be listed for a quick sale at a lower price. And it should sell soon. He then blocked her, his actions crisp and decisive. When the 8th branch of Xianxian Tea grandly opened in the bustling CBD area of Jingzhou, the golden sign shone brightly under the sun. This recently established brand has already become a phenomenal business legend, garnering widespread attention from the industry and media due to its unique product offerings, precise marketing strategies, and excellent user experience. Lin Roakshuan, the founder and soul of the brand, has been extensively covered by financial media and fashion magazines, earning titles such as the most beautiful milk tea queen and a rising star in the business world. Invitations from venture capital firms and interview requests from the media came pouring in like snowflakes. However, after a crucial investment negotiation meeting, Su Yunzhou saw her return to that familiar apartment, barely having time to take off her exquisite high heels. She collapsed onto the sofa like a little cat that had all its bones removed, burying her face into the soft cushion. Tyrant. Her voice was muffled and heavy with exhaustion. I really feel drained today. It feels like my soul has been squeezed dry by those tedious terms and endless negotiations. Can you grant me a pardon tonight? Just one night off from physical exertion, please. She slightly turned her head, revealing a weary yet charming face, her eyes glistening. Or you could give me a call to perk me up. Su Yunzhou looked at the curled-up figure on the screen and felt a wave of unbidden tenderness wash over him for the first time. Perhaps the significance of nurturing wasn't solely about the cold, ultimate score. Quietly supporting her growth and sharing her fatigue like this was also quite wonderful, wasn't it? Go eat the bird's nest I warmed up in the kitchen, then take a nice hot bath. Tonight, I grant you a break. Thank you, tyrant. Lin Roakshuan's voice still carried a hint of fatigue, but was laced with a sense of relief and subtle teasing. You seem to be getting better at cherishing the delicate. You're not like that cold, ruthless shock therapy devil from the beginning anymore. She dragged her exhausted body to obediently eat the bird's nest, and then immersed herself in the massage bathtub filled with rose petals and steam. The warm water enveloped her sore limbs, prompting a comfortable sigh. The steam made her cheeks flush, and her gaze gradually became dreamy as her voice turned lazy and hoarse. Tyrant, have you noticed? My figure has really improved a lot. Half closing her eyes, she looked down at her alluring curves that were barely visible under the water, her tone carrying a hint of pride and subtle temptation. I think I've reached an E-cup. My skin has become so much smoother, like the finest silk. Hee hee, I really want you to touch it and verify. Her voice trailed off. An overwhelming fatigue finally conquered her. She rested her head on the edge of the bathtub, drifting into a deep sleep in the warm water. Her fullness subtly visible in the ripples. Su Yunzu took a deep breath and helplessly downed another large gulp of cold beer, suppressing the inexplicable restlessness in his heart. He skillfully pulled up the latest attribute panel. Attractiveness, 93,100. Experience cultivated, confidence and composure. Charm begins to show in the glint of the eyes. Every smile and frown can be captivating. Figure, 90,100. Golden ratio approaching perfection. Curves as enchanting as a divine gift. One more point would be excessive. One less would be lacking. Knowledge, 65,100. Intense business practice has fostered a deep thirst for theory. Strategic and management insights far exceed peers. Temperament, 75,100. Successfully transitioning from a naive girl to a mature businesswoman, stability and brilliance coexist. Charisma beginning to manifest. Influence, 55,100. Successfully promoted from campus star to a notable newcomer in the industry, gradually increasing speaking power. Overall charm value, 756,100. Significant transformation. Goddess-like grace beginning to shine. Dazzlingly brilliant. Hidden talent. Business tycoon. Activation, 40. Demonstrates exceptional industry insight and leadership in critical decision-making. Current controllable assets, approximately 500 million. Brand valuation and diversified investment portfolio rising simultaneously. Initial shape of capital landscape taking form. At that moment, on the screen, Lin Roakshuan, soaking in the gradually cooling water, seemed to awaken. She shook her head vigorously, struggling to stand up from the bathtub, splashing water everywhere. She didn't even have time to dry herself. Just hastily wrapped herself in a bathrobe and stubbornly walked to the desk, picking up a hefty book titled Corporate Finance. I can't sleep. I need to become better. More perfect, so that you will appear. Su Yunju's heart tightened, and he immediately spoke up, his tone carrying undeniable authority. Immediately. Get into bed. Otherwise, I don't mind using a continuous low-intensity current to keep you company until dawn. His threat was still effective. Lin Roakshuan's shoulders slumped, pouting. But ultimately she obediently climbed into bed, and as soon as her head touched the pillow, she was dragged into deep sleep by overwhelming fatigue. Chapter 010. Our daughter is growing up during the summer vacation of her sophomore year. Just when Lin Roakshuan thought she would rely on her existing success to welcome a larger-scale business expansion, Su Yunju suddenly said, "Get ready to move, find a suitable buyer, and sell all your shares in Xianxian Tea." Lin Roakshuan nearly jumped up from the chair at her desk, still holding the new store concept design she was drafting. Why? System Dad, we are currently on a roll, brand value is increasing daily, and each store is continuously profitable, with very healthy cash flow. Because your vision is obscured by the splendor before you. Su Yunju's voice was calm as ever. The ceiling of the milk tea industry is within reach. But it is essentially still a cumbersome channel business. Moreover, in the future, cheap substitutes will swarm in like locusts. Your stage should not be confined to small cups. Cashing out now is to accumulate capital for a grander game. As he spoke, he brought up a detailed technology trend map and keynote analysis prepared in advance, spanning from 2010 to 2025. The clear path resembled notes from a time traveler observing history. Look closely. This is the battlefield where you should truly invest your efforts and conquer in the future. 2010 to 2012. On the eve of the mobile internet explosion, smartphones would reshape the world. 2013 to 2015. The popularization of 4G networks would give rise to new business models like live streaming and mobile gaming. 2016 to 2018. The golden age of short videos and content entrepreneurship would arrive. 2019 to 2021. The application of artificial intelligence would take off, leading to an explosion in smart hardware. Lin Roakshuan quickly suppressed all her confusion and resistance, grabbing her dedicated notebook to swiftly record these predictions from the future. For her, having the system provide advanced versions of industry insights was completely normal. However, looking at the astronomical figures in her personal and company accounts, which had long since numbed her, she couldn't help but mumble with a hint of confusion. Tyrant, what's the point of us earning so much money? This amount could last several lifetimes, or even dozens of lifetimes. Su Yunzhao could not outright say that it was ultimately to complete that damn game task and send her to the throne of the virtual world. He paused for a moment and chose to respond in a more pressuring and educational manner. Asking such a question shows that your current perspective and understanding are far from deserving of managing wealth of this magnitude. Complacency is the grave of ambition. From today onwards, read 2 books on business, history, or philosophy that I designate each week, from Built to Last Sapiens, and submit no less than 3,000 words of in-depth reflections and related practical notes each week. I will review them personally. If there is any insincerity. He paused. The implied threat was clear. You know the consequences. Lin Ruoxuan's shoulders instantly slumped. Her pretty face contorted in despair as she cried out.